Okay, this is important. If you want to get to the next level, if you want to achieve your dreams, if you want to achieve your goals, if you want to transcend, if you want to rise above where you are right now today, if you have been believing, hoping, dreaming, praying, and having faith, but you still haven't gotten there, let me tell you this. This is the one thing you're going to have to learn how to do. You must learn how to ask for what you want. Now, I know asking is a hard thing because we don't want to be turned down. We don't want to look like we don't have it together. Our pride and our ego gets in the way. And sometimes we are serial givers. I was one of those people. I would give everything to everybody. If I saw somebody in need, I'd give it. If I saw somebody who needed money, I'd help them. If I saw somebody who needed an opportunity, I'd figure out how to make it happen. But then when I was in need, it seemed like nobody said anything. And then I'd get an attitude because I assumed that everybody else who I gave to should now be giving to me. Well, let me tell you something. If you walk around with that attitude, if you walk around with that mentality, then you will never get where you're trying to go. Let me help you understand something. People cannot read your minds. And ladies, we got to stop, with our husbands and with our significant others and so on and so forth. We expect them to just do certain things. Now, I know chivalry is not dead. And yes, there are some things that they should do. But the truth is, nobody can read your mind. And sometimes you might simply have to bring something to someone's attention. So I was raised by my grandmother. Grandma B didn't ask anybody for anything. And she gave me lunch money and she gave me field trip money. And she told me when I left the house, don't ask anybody for nothing. You don't need anything, and everything that you don't have, you probably don't need. So, you know how we came up, how Big Mama and Grandmama and Medea and how the, communities and our aunts and uncles raised us. We were taught not to ask for anything. It was a sign of weakness. I remember once my grandmother, who passed right before she was 98 years old, she needed some food. She was hungry. And I said, okay, Demetrius, or it was either Demetrius or my bonus mom, my mother-in-law, I'm going to go get you something to eat because I wasn't in town. She said, oh, no. I said, woman, you're hungry. But she was so used to not asking anybody for anything. You were willing to starve? Come on now. Some of you are starving your dreams. You are starving your plans. You are starving your destiny because you will not ask for help. Now, here's one of the issues with asking for help. You don't know what kind of help to ask for. Well, let me get started for you. First of all, you need to ask for that raise. You need to ask for compensation. If you've been working on a job and you've been doing the same job for a long time and you've been giving more and so on and so forth, then go in and ask for the compensation. In many of my roles that I've had in my leadership positions in life, I typically will give people the raise before they even ask for it. I'll give them extra money without them even ask. I'll reward them with a bonus without them even asking for it. But everybody isn't like that. And it wasn't like that for me. I was the person who always gave extra at work and just expected to see it in my paycheck. It didn't happen. You must ask for what you want. You must have that conversation. You must be willing to put yourself out there. And I didn't used to ask for things because I didn't want people to think that I was being greedy or that I wasn't grateful. And anybody like that? Like, I never asked for anything, gave everything. Let me tell you something. That is a reverse psychological trap that you have put yourself in. You do not have to prove that you are grateful by dimming yourself down. You don't prove that you have a good heart by never asking for anything. You can learn how to ask the right way. And I'm going to get to that in just a moment. So you might have to ask for that raise. You might have to ask for that compensation. In one of my first corporate positions, I was being paid X. I thought it was going to be Y. When I got the job, I realized that my compensation was based on things that were not in my control. So I went and I asked for the compensation and I got it. You may need to ask. The next thing you may need to ask for is recognition. You might need to ask for that promotion. You might need to ask to be the lead or the manager or the supervisor. You might need to ask to be the head ministry person at church. You might need to ask for it. Sometimes people don't ask you for things because they don't want to overwhelm you, or they don't know that your interest lies there, or they may have read a signal wrong. I always say the only way to get to wealth and to get to prosperity is through communication, because when you don't communicate, then everybody gets to formulate their own opinion, and those opinions usually are not what is common. So you have to communicate and ask for that promotion. When I started working in the entertainment industry, I started here, but I said in 6 months, I want to be the boss. I want to be the COO, the Chief Operating Officer. And this is what that entails. And then I educated them on what my job was going to be and what their job was no longer going to be. Because when I get in this position, you can no longer do this. When I get in this position, you can no longer do that. Now, this may shock you, but I used to be scared to ask for anything. I didn't want people to think I was overbearing. I didn't want people to think I was an angry black woman. I didn't want people to think whatever. Let me tell you something. I don't care what they think now. You don't have to care what people think now. You got to have some sense. I'm going to talk about that. But if you are pure and intent with, if you are pure in intention with what it is that you are asking for, there is no need for you to hold back. The next thing you need to ask for, you need to ask for love and respect. Okay, I've been married for 26 years to a man who I love. I know God put Demetrius here for me. He's been the same the whole time. He's been kind, pretty much quiet, the reserved one, reliable, loyal, all that. I've been the crazy one. Okay, you probably haven't figured that out yet. I've been the crazy one. But the truth is, in a relationship, there are two parties, and each of them have good qualities and bad qualities. And I've had to tap my husband on the shoulder and say, okay, babe, I need you to do this. Or, okay, babe, when you do this, that doesn't make me feel safe. Or when you do that. So I have to ask for what it is that I wanted and then explain. You may have to ask for love, respect. You may have to ask for authority. Those things don't just naturally come. And just because a person doesn't give it to you doesn't mean that they don't want to give it to you. Sometimes they don't know. Okay, because we're all growing, viable, living beings, and your needs change. So as your needs change, you may need to make others aware of those needs by simply asking. The last thing that you have to ask for, and then I'm going to tell you how you're going to ask. The last thing you need to ask for is help. That's right. Ask for help. You can't do it by yourself. In one of Iyanla Vanzant's books, one of my favorite, Acts of Faith, she says, if life is like work, then run it like a multi-million-dollar corporation and elect yourself chief executive officer. So I'm telling you, you're the chief executive officer. If you are the CEO of your life, your business, your world, you cannot do it by yourself. Do you see any other CEOs running around by themselves? Do you see any other world-class lives, businesses, institutions, organizations running around? No, you can't do it all. And if you don't want to ask for help because you don't trust people, you got to get over that. You must learn how to train, coach, and inspect what you expect. A lot of times we'll train people to do something and then we just expect them to do it. And then when they don't do it, we haven't looked at it for 2 years, 2 days. They stole everything or did it all wrong. You have to inspect what you expect. So you have to ask for help, and then you have to keep up with the help that you ask for in order to get to where you're trying to go. You must ask for help. You got to get rid of this old thing. The Bible says, ask and you shall receive. And I'm going to get to that in just a moment. The Bible says you have not because you ask not. But here's the other part of it. The Bible also says in James 4:3, you ask and you don't receive because you consume it upon your lusts. You ask and you don't receive. You know how you've asked for something, you didn't get it because when you got it, you were going to do the wrong thing with it. And when you got it the last time you did the wrong thing with it, that's me. I've done that so many times. So then I started asking for stuff and never get it. When I was ready to launch my career and be this world-class financial person, it took a long time because I had messed up so many times. I guess I had to be tested on my faithfulness and my commitment. So with that, sometimes you ask and you don't receive. And I'm going to give you a few things to check that. When you ask, number one, make sure you are asking with the right intention. The right intention. Don't just ask because you think you deserve it. Don't just ask because somebody else got it. Don't just ask because you didn't ask and now you see somebody else with it. Have you ever accepted something and then found out somebody else asked for more and got it and then you got mad? Don't get mad at them. Take it as a lesson and get the blessing. Learn the lesson so you can get the blessing. But don't just go barging in. Well, you gave so-and-so. Well, so-and-so asked. Okay? Ask with the right intention. Don't ask somebody for something just because you think they have it to give to you. People will ask me for money because they think I'm successful. And yes, I'm blessed. But just because I have money don't mean I have to give it to you. I've had family members blurt out in the middle of an event, a gathering, Lynn, can I borrow XYZ? And guess what? I don't say a word. I don't have to answer that question. And it doesn't make me bad. It doesn't make me stingy because I know I'm a giver and I don't have to prove that by giving to anyone. But make sure you ask with the right intention. Because if you ask for a loan, someone may have to ask you for something back, which leads me to the next thing. When you ask, make sure you're willing to justify what you ask for. If you ask for a raise, if you ask for more money, if you ask for a loan, then be prepared to show what you are doing or have done in order to deserve that. If you ask me for a loan, I might treat you like the bank. You go to the bank and ask to borrow $500. They want to see your driver's license, your social security number. They want to know your blood type, how many children you got, what church you belong to, who is your pastor, child. They want everything. They want the kitchen sink. They want you to put a foot on layaway. They want everything in there, okay? So when you come and ask an individual for money, what makes you think they're not going to ask you? If you tell me you're going to pay me back $200 a week and you keep ending up in the hole, then I want to look at your bank statement. I want to see your paycheck stub because maybe you have some garnishments on there. And sometimes the help that you ask for is not the help that you get, because you might not need money. You might need a strategy. You might not need money. You might need guidance or a new plan and so on and so forth. Here's the next thing. If you ask, be sure that you are prepared to give more than you received. Okay? Giving is not equal. Don't be tit for tat on a playground. You got 2, I got 2. You got 5, I got 5. Giving doesn't work that way. Because see, I want to be able to do what Jesus had, 3 fish and 5 loaves of bread and fed the multitudes. That's what I want to give. I want you to give me 3 fish, 5 loaves of bread, and then I want to turn that into the multitudes. Anytime I've asked for a raise on a job or opportunity, if you give me what I asked for, I'm going to make your head spin with what I give you back. Why? Because giving is not equal. You are obligated to give what God has given you. He may have given you more favor, more strength, more wit, more wisdom, more capacity. So don't just think about, well, I only got this. You gave it to me, so I'm only going to give you that. Now, do not be a noodleback. Don't just let yourself be walked over, okay? You've got to set some boundaries, but do not limit your giving in that way. And the last thing I'm going to say to you about how to ask is this. Have some stopping sense, okay? Don't just keep asking. Just because you asking everything. I had a friend like that. So, I didn't really want to ask for anything, but I got hungry. So we would ask my dance teacher, okay, can we get something to eat? So she'd get us something to eat. Now this one would keep on asking for more stuff. And that's when Grandma B, she'd give you that look. Because you don't went too far. Have some stopping sense. Okay? Don't be looked at as a leech or a burden or a user or a gold digger. Have some stopping sense with your ask. And sometimes when you want to ask for something, wait. Sometimes when you want to ask for something, pray first. Write it out. Talk to an advisor. Talk to someone who can give you some wisdom about that ask. Okay? So I want you to start asking for what you want. And I want you to know how to ask properly. Ask for love. Ask for respect. Ask for that raise. Ask for help. Ask for help getting your money straight. Your business straight. Ask for help understanding the tax deductions. Ask for help ending your battle with money for good. Go to asklynn.org. I am waiting on the other side, and I'm with you. Now ask.